Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival announced for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, a new single-player survival horror action game. So, I seen the trailer for this, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I thought it was pretty intense. So, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've never been, a Hellraiser kind of person. Like, I never really watched any of the films or anything like that. I know of the character Pinhead himself, so you know what I mean. He was always one of those horror icons. I kind of put him up there with, like, obviously, like Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, Ghostface, those types of individuals that have kind of cemented themselves into the horror genre and everything like that. But Hellraiser was just one of those movies I never really got into. I never really knew anyone that would watch them or anything like that. So it was one of those things because a lot of my horror experience and exposure and stuff like that was when I was younger. Ironically enough, as I got older, I mentioned it kind of on the Jason video I did the other day for the Friday the 13th. Um, as I got older, I never really got too much into horror movies so much. It was mainly when I was younger that I really watched a lot of like these horror films and stuff like that. That might be part of the reason why as I got older I was just kind of like, I seen a lot of this stuff when I was younger, so it's not really didn't really do it for me like it did back in the day. But yeah, as far as the trailer for this, I thought this looked pretty intense. So obviously, Hellraiser, it's gonna involve you being the character going into hell and stuff like that. And from the gameplay itself, it looks pretty wild because it is gonna be a first person aspect from what it seems like that they're gonna be giving you. So I'm a little bit curious of how that's gonna be. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of first person games usually, just because of the fact that I get motion sickness very easily. So there are times where I've had some games back in the day where I can't really play too much of them just because it'll kind of mess with me a little bit. I'll start to get kind of like that, not necessarily dizziness, but just like I just kind of start getting that sick feeling. So it, as I've gotten older, you know what I mean, I've been able to kind of get past that with some of these games, just kind of sit back a little bit further from the screen and just kind of enjoy it as much as I can. Maybe have some like a fan or something right there blowing wind in my face. But yeah, as far as the trailer for this goes, I thought this looked pretty intense. Now we're gonna go ahead and check out the trailer. There's two trailers that they got. They got the regular reveal trailer, or announcement trailer, and then they got the red band trailer. So I'm gonna take a risk here, and we're gonna watch the red band trailer. It did seem like there is gonna be some sexual stuff in the just a really quick second of it. At the beginning of the trailer, so that is going to be a little bit risky, as well as the fact that I'm going to be playing this on YouTube, and I've had issues in the past. Usually I try to avoid actually watching trailers and stuff like that on YouTube itself, just because whenever I'm recording my videos here through like OBS and stuff like that, whenever I have the screen a little bit bigger, it does tend to kind of lag the video a bit more. So that is kind of the unfortunate thing. So I usually try to watch it through here. That's why a lot of the times I'll kind of, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, I'll kind of zoom in and then kind of play it through here. But unfortunately, if you do want to watch the red band trailer, it does seem like you do have to watch it on YouTube. So we'll go ahead and give it a shot, and then we'll see how it is here. So fingers crossed, and make sure everything's all set up. And then just give me a second here. I'm gonna pause it just to make sure that we got the video quality good right here. So all right, let's go ahead and check this out.
You have a void.
There's some of the sexual stuff right here. At first, when I seen the trailer, at first I was like, "Oh, damn!" Like, okay. Part of me was like, "Is this allowed to be on YouTube?" But obviously, we got the trailer here itself. So, I mean, what are they gonna do at that point?
A desirous, gaping heart.
And then you got the box, the infamous box. Now, like I said, I never watched too much. I never watched Hellraiser or anything like that. But I do know a little bit, some of the lore here and there. Not too much, but as far as I'm aware, this is like the little puzzle box that you get that if you actually solve the puzzle with it, it actually summons Pinhead and then the other individuals, the other like I guess you would call them the antagonists of the story. So seeing that they have this here, I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Especially while they're, you know what I mean, getting it in, doing the deed and all that stuff, type of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, why the hell would you bring that out now, kind of a thing. But you know, it is what it is.
It thirsts for excruciating pleasure. The very thing we offer. She is hellbound. Follow.
And really quick, I love the CGI and everything that they have for the game because this looks so good. I think it looks awesome the way they're able to actually make it look exactly like Pinhead. So that's kudos to them, man. They did a great job in that aspect.
For
Rewind it a little bit.
is hellbound. Follow her. For we have such sights to show you.
And we got some of the gameplay footage. So, like I was saying, it is one of those things where the fact that they are having it in first person, I feel like actually works really well because of these little like scenes that it'll show right here. I'm gonna mute it real quick and let it play through. So as you can see, you know, obviously that's probably your first steps into hell as you got the puzzle box with you. So from what it sounds like, from one of the stuff I was reading, it seems like you're going to actually be able to use the puzzle box as like a weapon to help you out, which I think is actually really interesting and pretty cool. And I'm really hoping that this is kind of going to bring some callbacks to some of the other films. Like I said, I've never watched it myself, so I can't say personally, but for any Hellraiser fans out there, for people that really love this franchise and get into it, if there are going to be things that they can be, you know, see in this game that they can recognize and be like, okay, I know this stuff, this is familiar, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? I think that'd be really cool. You got like the little surgeon working on this chick right here. Now I'm curious because it does seem like from what I was reading, you're gonna the couple that was, you know, having sex at the beginning, it seems like you're gonna be playing as the guy, and then your goal is to kind of save your girlfriend, who is the chick that did the puzzle box. So I'm kind of curious if it's going to put you through like different scenarios where you're going to see her getting mutilated and her body getting like torn apart and stuff like that. Because obviously it showed that scene where at the beginning when she first saw the puzzle box where they chain her up and then you can see her back is all skinned right there, as you can see right there on the little part of the screen at the bottom, which is just so gross, man. It's so nasty. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious if it's going to put you through like different levels of hell and stuff like that that you're going to have to go through and try to save her in different ways. So you got like that. You got the club scene right here, which is really weird. You know what I mean? But I guess at the end of the day, if you go to like, you know, if you think about it, the clubs and stuff like that, that's where certain sins could be, you know, happening and all that type of stuff. And then you got the body. So it looks like that's a male body right there, but it does look like you have to kind of pick something out of them. So this right here, I'm not sure if that's the puzzle box itself, but just wild the way that it looks, you know, the body being torn apart, you getting followed right here by this individual, which is creepy. Having an attack would look like the doctor, use the different weapons that you got, which is pretty cool. And that's probably a boss fight right there. And then right there when it just tears her, oof, you're just like, god damn, that's brutal. So I'm just gonna play it back here and then we'll just let the audio play through the rest of it. Oof. Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival. Wishlist now. So yeah, man, I think that looks so intense. And like I said, I'm really hoping that this will be something that, you know, Hellraiser fans and everything like that can play and really have like callbacks and all that type of stuff and be something that they really enjoy and could be something true to you know the franchise itself, which is really cool. I know they had the revival where I'm pretty sure they made Pinhead like a woman. So I don't know how certain people feel about that, you know, if they you know enjoy that type of stuff. But as far as this one goes, obviously it looks like Pinhead is going to be the original one that you've seen from back in the day, which is pretty cool. And then just like different things with the game itself, the different levels. Like I said, it's kind of crazy that you're going to be like in a club setting. You got Hellraiser right here, and I love this photo because it looks like it's a still shot from like one of the films because of how good like the CGI looks and everything like that, which is awesome. You got the puzzle box. some of the enemies you're going to be going up against, one of the settings. I like the design of the setting here. I think this is really cool because obviously this looks like a torture chamber, kind of like those little spikes that you put people in and then close the doors on them, kind of a thing. And it's like in a almost it'd be like if this is like a little section, like a lobby that you'd be going in before you get into like the club setting, which would be pretty intense. And yeah, just the different looks of it. You got Pinhead here, surrounded by these blades that has certain ones have blood on them and stuff like that, which is intense. The design looks crazy, looks menacing right here, which is awesome. And then yeah, just the cover art or whatever. But yeah, as far as this goes, I think this is gonna be really. It looks like it's gonna be a good game, and hopefully it'll be something like I said that fans really enjoy and fans can like really look back on and be happy with what they're able to get. Especially with them announcing that they're gonna be doing like another Friday the 13th game. Hopefully this will be something right up there where maybe they won't have too many of these franchises come back as far as movies go, but having them be video games, something that players can enjoy would be something pretty interesting. Give it like a whole new life to it, which I think is be pretty cool. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. If there are any Hellraiser fans out there from all of the original films, does this look like something that'll be right up there, up your wheelhouse? You know what I mean? Does this look like something that you'll be wanting to play and check out and see what it is and how it is compared to like the movies and stuff like that? So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.